This is just one of those odd ideas that popped into my head, but I figured I'd go ahead and give it a try. If you've seen the thumbnail, you've already seen what it looks like. I haven't, since I'm just starting the process. But as usual, it's a 100% cotton t-shirt that's been soaked in soda ash for at least 20 minutes and then spun in the washing machine until it's just damp. There's a few little pieces of dye already on there. We'll go ahead and work with it. Okay, so I'm not sure how well this is going to work, but we'll go ahead and give it a try. Because it's one of those things that isn't tied so much as just kind of, well, anyway, we'll see what happens. Alright, so I'm marking the center point of the fabric. As I do on most everything. I'm not going to flip this one inside out. Not really sure why. We'll just say laziness. This is going to be an ice dyed. I would really prefer to do this one as a liquid dye, but I don't have any liquid dye made up. Well, I did earlier, then I found it, and then I realized I haven't actually dyed anything in, man, probably 6 weeks or more, because I did a bunch to put out, a bunch of videos to put out, and then I kind of became sick and stopped doing videos for a while. So now that I'm running out of videos, I'm kind of having to do this. So, alright, so I did that. Go ahead and flip this. Grab the other side. Pull it forward. Alright, so I've got this relatively smooth. The arm is already inside itself, so I can't really work with that. Since I want to fold this more, and it's solely to make it thicker for the next step, I'm just going to work back and forth here a little. As you can see, I'm not being super precise, because this is just a test to see if this is even worth ever doing again. I'm going to fold the arm up here. And I'm going to take this, fold this back over on itself. Flip that. So I basically just folded it in half until I run out of material. I'm going to touch up the arm a little. There we go. Touch up the neck, and that fixes the arm. Again, it's not super precise since it's just a test pattern to see what comes of it. I'm still not sure it's thick enough. So we'll actually start winding on this side. I've been asked a lot how things are going. I'm going to just go ahead and leave that for an FAQ that I have planned to do coming up. Anyway, go ahead and grab some aluminum foil. I hope there's enough left on here. Okay. So take that. I'm going to fold it over just to make it a little thicker. And then I'm going to just place it over the center of this. Flip that a different direction, and let's see, am I going to fold outside or inside? Actually, it's probably better if I fold this way. So, let me touch that up. And let's just start rolling this. Let's pull this down a little. that much. There we go. Adjust this again. There we go. Just tuck that over a little bit, so that first little bit actually becomes a separate section. And then I'm just going to roll this up. I'm trying to keep this flat as it goes. Of course, it's going to want to extend the bottom part and shorten the top since it's a pretty thick mass here. Let's see what I can do to keep that from happening too much. So that's what it looks like. Might go back and redo this a little. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to do the next step quite like that. So I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to make the aluminum foil just a little bit thinner. There we go. Okay, I'm actually going to turn that on the outside edge because I don't want that collecting any dye. Let's start this again. Run that about center. Pull this over. And then just start rolling. Alright, so I'm going to take what little bit is left on the roll here. Make that a little thicker. And shrink it to about the same size. Grab some tape real quick. If I would have planned the length better, I wouldn't have to do this right now. So you do better. Alright, let's roll that up. Cut this off. There we go. And then I'm going to run some tape around this. Hold that in place, and that's what we're looking at on each side. So, off to dye. Alright, I lied. After thinking through it, there was no way I was going to be able to do what I want to do as an ice dye. So I just spent the last, I don't know, 30 minutes or so mixing up all the dyes for this design. So let's go ahead and see what the colors are. Hold on, I'm trying to see. Is there supposed to be fabric there? Yes. Okay, so the colors for this are Chinese red, deep orange, lemon yellow, bright green, turquoise, lilac, amethyst, and better black. So basically every color of the rainbow, pretty close. So we're going to start at the center and work out in a spiral. If I wanted to do the math, I could, and then I could make sure everything, mark the space so that everything's equally divided. Now, this is a test design, and I'm not going through that for this. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply it. Before I start, I'd like to mention that I do have a Patreon listed in the description. Currently it says milestones of like dye and shirts, rings, and that kind of thing. The rings I had planned on doing back in, when I set up the Patreon, which was actually before the whole Ralph situation with my brain. So I'm not sure if I'm ever actually going to be able to do the ring thing. I might change it before this is posted. I don't know what I would change it to. We'll see what goes from there. There's other things I'd like to do on this channel as well. It's just a matter of trying to get to the point to do it. As you can hear, my speech is quite a bit better most of the time. I still forget words all the time, like, what was it? Shirt, just a few seconds ago. Anyway, so let's go ahead and start on this. And I'm going to start with the red and work through amethyst. So let's go. I'm actually applying a fair amount. I mixed up about 8 ounces of each color, and I'm going to apply it pretty heavily just so that I can try to get it to go through as deep as it needs to go for this. So I'm hoping I didn't go too far with the red on this. I'm trying to stay fairly close to the center and just put on quite a bit. Oh, it's already going through the bottom. So that was more than I planned on putting, actually. So let's go ahead and do the orange. In addition to the Patreon that's listed in the description, I've also been playing around with some t-shirt design ideas. That's on Teespring. That should actually be showing up below this video. The thing that people comment on the most is it's time to dye after I finish tying it and before I start switching to the design view, or the dyeing view that I'm doing now. So I went ahead and did a design that incorporated that. I'm open to any ideas that people might have on if they're interested in me doing some other t-shirts, and if you have ideas on what you would like me to do as a t-shirt other than tie-dye, let me know. Obviously doing the tie-dye, that would fall onto the Etsy, and I haven't come up with something that would be easy enough for me to repeat in bulk other than a spiral, really, and I'm not sure anybody would want to buy just a spiral. So I'm trying to stay mostly in one spot towards the last color and put in as much as I can. Well, I guess not as much as I can, or I would just pour it in. But quite a bit more than I planned on. I was hoping I'd have enough dye to do another project, but looks like I'm going through this stuff pretty fast. We're up to bright green. And that's my friendly dog barking in the background. And this one I'm overlapping a little on the yellow, because it looks like the yellow went further than what I had planned on. And I hear drips in the pan below, but that could be from more than just the green. And it could be, if I didn't make this tight enough, it could just be slipping down the sides and not even going through the fabric. Okay, turquoise. So I've got 3 colors after this. Yeah, this might be spaced right. Every once in a while things work out. I'm actually using about the same amount, except for the red and the orange. Those look like those were lighter, but also it's a smaller section of those. Okay, I'm up to lilac. So I have 2 after this, and it still looks like it's spacing right. Actually, the red probably should have gone a little further, but we'll see how it works out. Ooh, some just slipped into the end there. Back over here, where the, oh, actually I only have 1 left. I was not thinking about the black. So I'm going to go ahead and change the design, and I'm going to incorporate back into this black into this part of the design as well, simply because I didn't space it right. I know people have said they appreciate me having the oopsie moments in the videos to understand my thought process. Well, there's an oopsie moment for you. Oh, there's another oopsie moment. My amethyst is dripping all over. Or my lilac. It's now all over my hands too. Alright, amethyst, which is the last actual color. Let's see. Instead of doing black like I had just made up, I'm going to go ahead and go back to red. That way I keep the black where it's supposed to be for this design, which will be bleeding up through the bottom to fill any of the spaces where the other colors are not, to help add contrast to the entire design. And people have asked, can you use a color other than black? You're welcome to use whatever you would like. It probably needs to be a darker color though, because if you go with like a yellow or something, it's not going to show up well. I just used a whole lot more amethyst. Alright, so let's go back to the red. And I actually might do a little bit of orange there on the end too. Now, whether people actually like to see my thought process or they just kick back and go, he's just making this stuff up as he goes. Well, yes, I actually am. And I decided to talk the whole time on this video instead of actually doing music overlay. So, feel free to comment on that too. Alright, we'll do a little bit of orange here on the end. There's that little tiny bit of, I don't remember what it was, some type of blue that snuck in over here. See if we can bleed that out to a lighter color by putting quite a bit of orange on top here. Okay, so I currently have a giant mess coming out the bottom, but overall I used about the same amount for all of the colors. I'm cleaning up my lilac mess over here. Okay. It's about the same amount. Looks like I used the most, actually, of the yellow, which seems weird since there isn't that much there. Alright, since it's done, I'm going to go ahead and flip this over. And I'm going to put it on a spot over here. And then I'm going to add the black to this. This is not thickened, and I'm probably going to regret that, because it's going to end up going deeper than what I want it to. So instead of doing that, I'm actually going to do this. Ta-da! Okay, that was the worst transition ever. So I've got it in a little bowl here. I'm going to fill that up. Oh, wrong side. That's the bottom. Alright, so pour that mess out. I'm going to set this down for just a second. I'm going to go ahead and pour in the black. So it's 8 ounces of black. That's probably overkill, but I'm kind of stuck at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and set this down in it. Trying to make sure it doesn't suddenly jump up and cover my entire face with the dye. Okay, it's in there, and it's pretty close to the top over here, so I'm going to let it sit like this for now. I'm going to clean up some of this, and I'm going to let this sit for 18-24 hours, somewhere in that time frame, and then we'll do the washout. Alright, it's been about 18 hours, so let's go ahead and do the washout. Alright, let's take a look. And I'll go throw this in the washing machine.